Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Purplatypus is the name, and today we are playing SMT5, kind of. It's a guide. We're going to be talking about miracles. What miracles should you prioritize? So a bit of a spoiler, you're going to be able to see, based off what I have and what I don't have, kind of what my recommendations are going to be. But for the most part, let's just kind of break down. And so the perspective of this is I'm currently in the fairy village of the game. So there are going to be more powerful miracles that we get later. Like there's one for demons to use items. That should be a top priority, insanely powerful, but it's just not here right now. This is going to be basically from the early game up until where I'm at, and then maybe I'll update these guides later as I get further into the game, but I got videos to make, So let's go and look at it. First, I would say for the most part, you could very safely pretty much ignore all of the masteries for quite a while. I'm sure in the late game, they become really, really good. I even did the Almighty Mastery just so I could do it, but really bringing your mastery from +0 to +1 is not that good. The only reason I did Almighty is because this is the only way to get Almighty Mastery, like feels like at all. Like a lot of characters, like if you really need Fire Mastery 3 or 4, you could bring a Flame Elemental or something like that. Give yourself 3, 4, or even 5 if he's gotten lucky on the level ups. With Fire Mastery, and same with all these other ones. So these aren't really that important in my opinion, and they're expensive. It's not that they're like Ailment Mastery is not that expensive, but there's characters that specialize in it, so I probably wouldn't do that. For the most part, I would ignore these. I probably wouldn't even get the Almighty Mastery, but it hasn't been that big of a deal. But it was 150, so it is very expensive. Go past them. So Cosmos, probably late game. Early game, not so much. As far as Awakening, the ones that I kind of prioritize first, like always, are, I guess it depends. First, I want to get my basic combat ones, the ones that are very important for combat, right? I want to get the one that make it so my gauge fills faster. Basically, the ultimate gauge is super powerful in this game, and you want to be able to use it twice in some boss fights if they go longer. So making it so every time you inflict weak or critical, you get a little bit of a boost is very good. Every time you resist or nullify an attack, you can refill your gauge. Those are super important, especially in the early game when you're just using dampeners on everything. It'll give you a way bigger charge when fighting bosses. Other than that, after I get what I would consider the basic combat ones, the ones that are really good are twofold. I like the economic ones, the ones that will give you like extra money. That's basically this rare chance to acquire 1 extra relic. Getting extra money is just kind of nice. I would get Hand of God basically ASAP. You're going to need so much money, it's not even funny. This won't give you a ton of money, but it will give you a bit more. The other one that I found to be pretty much one of the most essential ones in the game are the Art of Essences. This allows you, when you go to the Essence menu over here, to basically use more of these skills. Like you see these skills over here on the left. It basically, at level 0, you can't use any of them. At level 1, you could use like the first 2 or 3, and then level 2, you could use the next ones, and then I'm assuming there'll be one more. Like look at this. We got the Hair of Eniva. Here we go. So you can see here, like getting access to these are just very good, especially because there's a lot of basic ones you could buy with this $ here. So anytime you need, let's go to a better one here. Every time you can get Fire Breath on literally every single one of your characters because you could buy Fire Breath, because you could use this essence, buy this essence, use this essence, buy this essence. So it's very good. But if you didn't have this leveled up, you would be stuck to having maybe, I don't know, Wind Breath and Agelio or whatever, which are both still good. But it is nice, especially for some of these more rare abilities, like raise attack of all allies by 1. That's pretty rare early on, being able to get any block you want. So I would highly recommend getting the Essence ones ASAP. It'll quickly make you able to get basically whatever you want, any skill you want on any character you want. So those ones are super important. Another one I'd get as soon as you unlock it is the Summoner's Hospitality. Reducing the cost of demons in the compendium by 10% is huge. Demons cost tens of thousands, right? So every time you get a chance to decrease that, I am hugely in favor of doing it. As far as Awakening goes, getting increased skill slots is probably the most important here for you and your main character. The main character, I think, less important than your demons, because this gives you, getting this gives you basically, however many characters you have in your stock worth of skills. So maybe 16 extra skills over the course of your party, where this gives you literally 1 skill. Now, this character is always in your party, and it's worth getting, but I mean, I don't think it's quite as potent as getting extra skills on your demons. I'd prioritize those. Garrisons, I don't think are actually super necessary after the first like 2 or 3. But for someone like me, I just like having a bunch of stuff and leveling a bunch of stuff, and then I don't like fusing my favorite guys. So this is a good quality of life thing as well. So quickly to go over the ones that I don't get, that I haven't gotten, that I can afford, but I'm still not worried about them, and why I'm not getting them. Unyielding Will, I feel like, is one that a lot of people would passively get, and it's fine. It's pretty cheap. Just get them when you want it. But when a guarding ally is attacked, you fill the gauge a little bit. I guard so little in fights, in boss fights. Like, I never need to guard, and I know later I will, and when I need to start guarding because piercing attacks are going to get through dampeners, this will become very good. But honestly, up till this point, I would have gotten 0 value out of this in boss fights, which is really the only thing I care about, because normal fights you could pretty much win in 1 round anyway. Thus, this one, you recover MP when guarding. This is fine and it's good, but again, I just don't guard that much, so I don't typically find it good. If a guy runs out of MP, I just switch him out with something else. Same thing here. Gauge fills when guarding. Again, it's good. This and this together, like, this makes guarding powerful when you have all 3 of these, but guarding versus a boss takes a turn. You know, you have to, it could take multiple turns if you have all your characters guard. So I just, I'm not doing it right now, but I know it will become good. I do think Vengeance could be worth it, but again, when I'm building teams for boss fights, I'm not losing characters. So I'm kind of thinking about a lot of, like, all right, I care about having a lot of options. I care about having basic, you know, combat, but I mostly just want to kill the bosses and have a good economy. That's kind of what I'm focusing on here. So a lot of these are ones that I just didn't find that important. Right, like making things, actually a Timeless Alliance is one that I'm gonna get for quality of life. Lets you re-recruit things faster, which is good for fusion. But even this, like, reduces the amount of Maka demons demand a negotiation. They could demand a lot, but a lot of times you could tell them to ask for something else and just give them more items, because you have so many items. So this one hasn't been really important for me. I don't care about dodging battles. You could just run around them. And maybe these things all add up. Like, I don't buy that many things at the Hollow, although reducing to 25% is good if you're going to buy a lot of essences. I have a lot of essences stockpiled, so I'm not using this. But once you decide you want to start buying essences, get this. Healer, it's probably just worth it. I don't feel like I spend that much money, but still lowering it 25% will equal more money. And money is very important. If you want to fuse all the demons and make perfect demons, you need an insane amount of money. So I would probably consider Healer's Hospitality. I just unlocked that one pretty recently. But yeah, a lot of these things are just like, I just haven't needed it, right? I don't really need 2 more demon slots. I'm happy at 16 right now. I usually have 1 or 2 slots open, and I'm not using 16 slots in a single combat, right? Like, it's very rare that you want that many slots in a combat. And then my main character has enough skills, right? They already are just dealing damage, or if they... Here's the thing. The skills aren't that important. You can get more passive slots, which is good. You should get more passives. But also, it's kind of just like, if they need to do something, just have items for it, so they don't really need the skill. But by the end of the game, this will be important, because you're going to load them up on passives and a few attacks. And then the masteries, I'd pretty much just ignore these. That's basically where I'm at on the miracles right now at this stage of the game. And that's to say, if you... The glory isn't finite. It is infinite. You can grind it, but it's slow to grind. And eventually, you can get everything, I bet, relatively easily. But I still like being a bit frugal. Like, I have 300 right now, and I'm not planning on spending any of it on this. The only one I would consider is... honestly, none of these right now. But I like saving it, because in case I do want to pick up all 3 of these, let's say I find a boss that I need to guard against for some mechanical reason or another, suddenly I want to make it so my guards recover my MP, they also recover my gauge, and then I'll recover more gauge when I get attacked. So this means you'd be able to use 2 ultimates in a fight very easily, maybe even 3, depending on how much it charges it up, right? But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Let me know if you agree or disagree or what have you. Anyway, much love. Purplatypus is Purplatypus. I'll see you on the flip-flops. Bye!